I wasn't aware that it was really understood what it was until I was in my early teen years. Obviously, I was aware of voiceover and voice acting. I just didn't understand, because when we were little, they didn't really even put the actors' names next to the characters that they did. It was just a list of character or list of people. Well, we know they worked on the show. We have no idea who was who. So, um, it's just something I just played around with doing and didn't really comprehend that it was a job and a business and, something that people did for a living and that wasn't 100% the case. A lot of the case back in the early days, like Rocky and Bullwinkle era, people would literally just walk in the street and say, "Hey, I do funny voices." And like, "Oh, you're hired." That's how easy it was to get in cartoons back then. Now it is literally like fighting an epic war against, you against the empire to get a foot in the doorway of animation. So it's changed a lot. But yeah, it wasn't until I was like the internet first started kind of becoming a thing where you could, look up who people were, and my brother had worked for a third party subsidiary of Google trying to compile information. And because he loved voiceover too, he was like, I want to specifically focus on voice acting stuff. So he would find things like the very first picture of Lorenzo Music, who was the voice of Garfield. People didn't even know what that guy looked like. It was just so reclusive. He didn't have a lot of pictures of him. But things like that weren't Googleable back then because the information had not been compiled and organized, categorized, and where you could just type in a thing and there it is. So we started learning on the, together. Just I would get bored and he would be like, I can't go, I'm working on a thing. And I just sit there and watch. I was like, oh, I didn't know that guy did that voice and I started realizing, like, oh, that's a thing. That's like a career, like a job. Like people can do that. Does that mean we can do it? So yeah, it's I think I was about 13 to 15, somewhere around there when I first kind
Uh,
of became fully aware.
Were you already kind of experimenting with voices back there? Were just like playing
Oh, I
around with
started
it?
messing around with voices when I was 4. Like I didn't, I just, voices is one thing, but voiceover as a career is a completely different thing. A
Right.
lot of people do it as a party trick or they just think they're great at it. Like you, and I'm just kidding. He said he wanted me to roast him, and that's as far as I go.
I said roast me in the
Uh,
intro, not roast me throughout the whole show.
I just assumed that applied throughout the entire thing. It's the 250 episode, so I have
Yeah,
to
go
insult him
nuts, bro. Go
I have to
nuts.
roast him 250 times for not
Oh,
bringing up
okay. Is that the
sooner than now.
rules? That's the
That's
rules of
true.
the show. We'll
So,
put a counter in the bottom for every roast.
like RoboCop's kills.
You know they're going to remar. Apparently they're going to reboot that.
That
They're
is
going
a
to do it.
shock.
Why?
I actually worked on the trailers for the first reboot. It's like because it's a good IP and the game did really well, so they're probably like, oh, still a market for RoboCop stuff.
I liked the what was it 2012 was the
Yeah, that was the
remake.
one I worked on. Yeah,
Oh, you worked on that one. Oh, okay,
yeah.
wow. I thought
I
it
forget
was
what it was.
awesome. I thought it was
Is it
really, really good.
something about hard man, hard machine, but who's in control? Up. That was one of those. That was that campaign.
Why
But
do you
yeah,
think that? Why do you think it didn't kind of work out for that film? Because I'll be honest, I thought the story
I
was
think a lot of
brilliant. It
people
was
thought it was like a meh, kind of like watch it one and done kind of movie, but it just did not have the same zing as the first film did because
Hmm.
everything was CG, and one of the reasons why so many people like the original is because they did all practical effects. The blood squibs, it actually has real liquids shooting out of people's chests, and they'd replace when Hollywood started doing the Sin City thing, and they started using fake blood everywhere. Everybody just started going nuts. It's like, oh, it's fake blood. Now it's okay. And it looked terrible. That's the one thing they didn't think about. It's like, well, we can do this, but it looks awful. It
I
doesn't look
can't
real at all.
I can't get over like how just traumatic the original
Oh,
opening
yeah. He
scene of
literally shot a guy
RoboCop
right in the
was.
privates and blows his own privates
Well,
off.
they
I'm
just
like,
it was just a bunch of guys just shooting at
whoa.
him for just like
Oh,
I've
no. And the
seen.
way he died, the way he was murdered was just
Oh,
awful. Point blank range.
was it?
And
It's
by
just not
Eric Foreman's
often.
dad from the '70s show of all people. I figured he would just call him a dumbass and walk his way. But yeah, I messed around with doing voices when I was 3 or 4 because my mom was like, "Oh, I can do what was it? I can do Grover's voice." I'm like, "I can do it better than you can." And then later on, she was like, "I can do Yoda's voice." That's just Grover with a speech impediment, dude. That's the same voice you did last time. So it was more of a competitive thing why I actually first started getting interested into it. But I've been practicing and doing voices just because it's something I don't know. Parrots imitate, you hear animals that can like instantly parrot stuff. I just kind of picked up on that very, very quickly as a very young kid. But as far as being fully conscious of the career, that was probably a little less than a decade later.